Ladies, let me tell you something real. When a man does you wrong, the most powerful thing you can ever do isn't to argue, cry, or try to make him understand your pain. No. The strongest move you can make is to confuse him with your peace. And I'm not talking about playing games or sending mixed signals. I'm talking about moving in a way he never saw coming. Because men, they're used to a certain reaction when they mess up. They expect tears. They expect yelling, long emotional texts, maybe even a dramatic post on social media. That's what they're ready for. That's what their ego feeds on. But what they're not prepared for is a woman who moves differently. A woman who doesn't react, she responds. A woman who carries herself with grace, silence, and self-control. That kind of energy, it shakes a man to his core. When someone hurts you, the first instinct is to react emotionally. It's human, I get it. You're angry, you're disappointed, you feel betrayed. You want him to see your pain, to understand the damage he caused. But here's the truth, and I need you to hear this deeply. Reacting emotionally gives him power, because the moment a man sees he can trigger you, he knows he still controls your emotions. He knows he still has you wrapped around his finger, even after everything. That's exactly why the real power move isn't reaction, it's restraint. When you choose to respond instead of react, you reclaim your control. Responding means you're intentional. It means you're aware. It means you've decided to rise above the chaos instead of drowning in it. So instead of arguing, you stay silent. Instead of writing paragraphs trying to explain how much you're hurting, you let your absence speak volumes. Instead of trying to prove your worth, you remember your worth. And let me tell you, ladies, that silence, that calm, that composure, it's a storm in his mind. Because men can handle drama. They can handle shouting. They can handle tears. What they can't handle is a woman who simply refuses to engage. A woman who steps back, moves with dignity, and chooses peace over chaos. That's the woman who becomes unforgettable. That's the woman who becomes a mystery. That's the woman who makes him question everything. Imagine this. He texts you after hurting you, expecting a fight, expecting your usual reaction. But instead, you reply calmly, "I appreciate the clarity you've given me. Take care." And that's it. No chasing. No begging. No desperate questions. You simply move on. Do you know what that does? It shakes him. It makes him wonder, how could she walk away so easily? He starts to overthink. He starts replaying every moment in his head. Because men learn through experience, not explanation. You don't have to tell him what he did wrong 100 times. You don't have to prove anything. The moment he realizes you've stopped reacting, that's when it truly hits him. That's when he starts to think, did I just lose something real? And trust me, that realization hits harder than any argument ever could. See, when a man expects you to fall apart and you don't, that's when his ego begins to crumble. He assumed his absence would destroy you, that you'd be waiting, crying, missing him. But when he sees you rise higher, glowing, healing, becoming a better version of yourself, that's when he realizes he miscalculated. The best revenge isn't anger, ladies. It's elevation. It's the glow-up he didn't see coming. It's the confidence that radiates when you stop chasing validation and start investing in yourself. Work on your mind, your body, your dreams, not because you need to prove anything to him, but because you love yourself enough to grow beyond what hurt you. Hit the gym. Learn something new. Chase your passion with even more fire, not to make him jealous, but because your future deserves your full energy. When you invest in yourself, when you level up, when you pour love into your own growth, you become the kind of woman who commands respect without saying a word. And when that happens, something powerful shifts. He starts remembering why he wanted you in the first place. He starts realizing he took something rare and real for granted. And it's not just about how you look, it's about your energy. A woman who knows her worth walks differently, talks differently, lives differently. She doesn't beg for love. She attracts it, effortlessly. And when he sees that, when he realizes you've detached completely from the idea that he was essential to your happiness, he won't know what to do with himself. Because now the power is no longer his. It's yours. That's the beauty of the glow up. It's not about him, it's about you. It's about choosing to elevate instead of sink. It's about proving to yourself, not to anyone else, that you are enough. All on your own. Because there is nothing more magnetic, nothing more powerful, than a woman who is unbothered, unapologetic, and unstoppable in her pursuit of a better life. See, men expect drama. They expect anger. They expect a reaction that confirms they still have a hold on you. That's why when you respond with peace, it's the one thing they can't handle. Peace confuses them. Silence unsettles them because it forces them to face themselves. When you stop engaging, when you step back, when you refuse to play his game, it leaves him with no choice but to sit with the consequences of his actions. And believe me, a man will always remember the woman who walked away with grace, not the one who begged or argued. Because peace is unsettling to a man who thrives on control. When he realizes he can no longer trigger you, can no longer pull you into his drama, can no longer feed off your reactions, he starts losing his sense of power. And nothing confuses a man more than realizing he's lost access to your emotions. When you choose peace, you shift the dynamic. You stop proving, you start living, you stop chasing closure, because your peace is the closure. And ladies, that's when you truly free yourself. When you stop giving energy to someone who doesn't deserve it, that's when healing begins. That's when you stop needing him to see your value, because you already see it yourself. And here's the thing. When a man sees that you've found peace without him, it makes him question everything. He starts to wonder, why isn't she angry? Why isn't she fighting? Why isn't she trying to get my attention? And then it hits him. You've moved on. You've found something greater than his validation. You've found yourself. Choosing peace doesn't mean you weren't hurt. It doesn't mean you didn't care. It means you respect yourself enough to not let someone's actions steal your joy. It means you trust that what's meant for you will never require you to beg, chase, or compromise your dignity. Because at the end of the day, distance is the loudest message you can ever send. When you pull away without bitterness, without pettiness, without revenge, your silence screams what words never could. You see, revenge doesn't heal you. Trying to make him regret it doesn't heal you. All it does is keep you tied to the same energy that broke you. And the longer you stay tied to that energy, the longer you delay your own peace. Real power isn't in getting even. It's in getting better. It's in walking away, head high, knowing you never needed to prove a thing. Because the truth is, when he finally realizes what he lost, you'll already be too far ahead, too focused on your peace, too healed, too elevated, to even care. That, ladies, is the ultimate flex. You don't just survive, you evolve. You don't just heal, you glow. And that kind of woman, she doesn't chase, she attracts. She doesn't crumble, she conquers. And once you move like that, there's nothing more powerful, more confusing, or more unforgettable